show is about the fans, for the fans.
As a youngster and as you get older, if you have the base and the fundamentals.
How's it going? It's going to Tatham here. Just finished up training now with
the upper back probably at the age of 3 and we're passing a rugby ball. About 12 seasons of Premier Club cricket.
down the ground. It's been a fantastic season so far for us as the Dolphins. A really good season so far. We've got good momentum in this one-day competition.
Really performing well, bowlers, batters and fielders.
Training camp is really good. Guys are really focused.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Leading Edge with me, your host, Nick Tatham. I think we're in for an exciting one this evening. We've got a couple seamers joining me, and I think there could be some good banter flying around. Just a quick reminder before we get going that you can engage with us. So in the comment section below the video, please put your questions through to our two guests. I'm going to introduce them to you right now. One, retired recently, left-arm seamer for the Hollywood Bets Dolphins, played for the Proteas. Mthokizisi Shezi is going to be joining us. And then the other one, up-and-coming, exciting young player, played for the Paul Rocks in the last MSL. There we go. Mthokizisi Shezi is joining us. We'll get to our other guest a bit later. Shez, welcome. There he is, Kerwin Mungroo. Welcome. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks, Nick.
Awesome to have you guys along here. Shez, you just mentioned off air just a little bit earlier that you are now a father. Congratulations, man. So how's that been for you?
Thank you very much. There are no sleeps for now. I find myself sleeping a bit late and waking up a bit early. Like last night, I didn't sleep at all. But she's a gem. Her name is Azania.
Oh, I think we've just lost Shez. Okay, well, we'll carry on talking about his new little girl when we get him back. Kerwin, welcome. How are you? Is it good to be back in Durban, coming down from Ladysmith?
Yeah, definitely, Nick. Nice and warm here. Ladysmith being really, really cold. It's nice and warm here in Durban, so I'm really enjoying it. Although the training has been tough here in Durban, but I'm enjoying it so much.
Well, the last time we chatted, you were off fishing. Up in Ladysmith. Is fishing something that you do down here in the sea at all?
Not really. I've spoken to Pranel and he does that quite a lot, and he said he's gonna hook me up and he's gonna take me. So I'm looking forward to that as soon as we get time. At the moment, it's a bit tough because we don't have enough time, and because of this COVID and stuff. So once we get time together, then I'm sure we'll be going a few trips, and he'll be teaching me a few things. I'm not too familiar with sea fishing.
Well, you're talking about mentioned time. I guess you guys don't really know what the time period is now between sort of your pre-season or your off season and your pre-season and then the start of the season. How have you guys been dealing with that? I know you mentioned that there's not a hell of a lot of bowling going on at the moment.
Yeah, I mean we do what we can in small groups of people or teammates. We train a bit in bits and pieces, but we get a lot of work done during the course of the week. So like I said, we've been bowling twice a week, maybe off one step, where normally we do it every day in a normal season. Well, because we have so much time during this time, we just do it in bits and pieces up until the time comes for us to really start playing.
I know end of last season was frustrating for you. You sort of came off the momentum of winning the MSL with the Paul Rocks and started the season nicely, and then picked up quite a serious injury that sort of kept you out for the majority of the back end of the season. How's that? Is that all healed up well?
Yeah, I'm 100%. I'm ready to go, and I'm looking forward for the season to come. It was strange, but I'm back now, and I'm looking forward to go.
So how frustrating was that? I know injuries are part and parcel with playing cricket, but that injury that you picked up, how frustrating was that, keeping you out for that length of time?
It was really frustrating, because I felt like I was bowling the best so far that ever since I came up to franchise level. That's the best I've been bowling. And to get injured at that time, it was really frustrating. But I put all that behind me now, and I'm just looking forward for the season to start and doing my best for the Dolphins again.
So let's take it back, though, Kerwin. Let's take it right back to the start of your cricket playing days in Ladysmith. How did it all come about? When did this passion for cricket start?
To be fair, Nick, I started playing cricket when I was quite young, but not at just playing it on the street because my bigger brothers were playing it and my older friends that were playing it in the street. How I started bowling was with my middle brother. He just loved batting. So he always wanted me to bowl to him. So he taught me how to bowl in the yard. And then I just got hooked on. I started bowling. I remember playing Baker's mini cricket. Apparently, I was the weakest player in the team because I would bowl fast and the wicketkeeper would miss it. And the guys just kept running. And that's why I was the weakest player in the team. So I always played cricket for fun. And I just, from there, just kicked on and I played and I played. It was always for fun, though.
Oh, yes. Shez, welcome back. So you were saying fatherhood for you has been an eye-opening experience. Just a couple weeks old, if I'm not mistaken. How old is she now?
Yeah, she's turning 8 weeks, which is 2 months on Sunday. So I'm a 2-month-old father. I reckon the way she's learning how to make noises and I'm learning how to change nappies and that took me about a month. I wasn't very comfortable with some no, that was not fun. I won't lie. I used to take it for granted when people did it, but when it was my turn, it took me a month just to be comfortable with touching and the smell. And my brother told me that you're gonna get used to it because it's gonna get worse. It's gonna be so. I was like, no. So I'm gonna put it trainer like quickly as I can. But it's been amazing. I won't lie. It's life changing. And I always hear people saying it's life changing. Like, what do they mean? It's like your everyday life changes. That's how it's life changing. So I don't just wake up, go for a run, go see my friends, go play golf, come back and sleep. I can't do that anymore. So it's life changing in that sequence that now I wake up, make sure she's fed, make sure the mother's happy, get sheltered at a bit, all the crying baby, go to work, come back. So it's life changing in that my everyday life will probably never be the same, I guess.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier that you've been working from home. How important has that been to actually be able to be there on a daily basis as she grows?
I think it is probably as sad as COVID is. Can you guys still see me? Again,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's wrong.
No, it's fine. You can carry on. You can carry on talking, Shez. You're just taking the spotlight there.
Okay. As much as it's been a curse, I say, for COVID, just affecting everyone, it's actually been a blessing in that regard that I get to be home every day. I get to see small changes. I get to be there when she's crying and just support the mother. It's our first baby together, so we're also learning as we go along. So just being home, supporting, helping, being there for every growth. Like now, she's starting to smile for real and not because of gas. And she's starting to say some noises and words. So it's been a blessing, I won't lie. It's been really
Let's talk cricket now. Let's talk your career. I know Shailin mentions there that you always be a Dolphins legend. Do you see yourself in the Dolphins legend category at all?
No, I see Sean Pollock as a legend. I see Kerwin Mungroo as a legend. I am definitely not a legend. I'm a pure servant of the Dolphins. It's probably, besides Azania, it's probably my best blessing, to be really honest.
How was your time with the franchise? I know you did 2 stints. You were with the Dolphins, and then you went to the Cobras and came back. The difference in the 2 stints, is there anything that sort of stood out for you between the two?
The first time I was here for a while actually. I was quite young and I kind of grew up with Johan Low, Quinton friend in the team. Kyle Abbott were kind of the same age, but in performance, he was like way older than me. So it was more of a learning curve for me more than anything. It was more also just trying to understand how to bowl, and more than bowl, how to actually make relationships. I remember my roommate for one trip in Bloom was Andrew Hall, and we didn't speak for the whole 4 days, man. It was like, I'm like, I'm happy when Wall is with me, He's gonna teach me some tips. We're bowling together. No word. So also just maybe trying myself to open up more. So it was more of a learning curve the first time I came. And then the second time I think I was a bit wiser. So I thought I wanted to make an impact on and off the field, just to help younger bowlers, but also to put in match winning performances for the Dolphins and for us to win trophies. And luckily, I think we won about two in that time. So it was a very good time.
And when you came back to the Dolphins, you said that you came back as a wiser, more mature player. Who were the guys that the bowlers underneath you, the younger guys that you sort of mentored through?
I tried Kerwin, but he didn't listen, so I moved on. So I moved on. That's a joke. So there were a few guys. I think Ogutle was one of them. Where on and off the field we will speak a lot about bowling. Zuma was one of them. Um, I've always enjoyed guys who have pace. So although I didn't speak as much as I wanted to with Pavlon, but I've always enjoyed the pace that he has, And if you have pace, I always feel that you've won half the battle because half of the country is scared of you, half of the country loves you. You know, I've always wanted to maybe coach more at him, but I'll say Zuma and Wulte were a few guys. And then I also assisted with the academy a bit, and I also helped some of the B team guys. I know Tula, we worked well together.
Oh yeah.
We actually put them time just trying to grow on how the lens, the lines. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few guys. The old words are good, guys. I promise you. I can't remember. So I'm sure there were a few bowlers, and I really did enjoy. I won't lie.
I was just gonna ask you one quick question before I jump to Kerwin. Working with left-handed bowlers and left-handed seamers, right-handed seamers, are the principles still the same, or do you have to change it up a little bit?
The more basics of top of off, foot stump, let it pass the batsman. I think that stays the same, but maybe the lines, because the angles change, they do come to change. And looking as a left armer, I didn't swing the ball for a while. Then I swung the ball. Then I didn't again. So also to understand and teach the guys how you actually swing the ball back and what areas to hit. It will always be different if it was Mungroo because of his lines, the way he attacks the stumps. So those things usually change, but the basics of top of off with the odd bouncer and football hit the keeper, they will never change.
Kerwin, I'm going to come to you now. Talking about bowling, when you standing at the top of your run up, what is the key? So let's say day one of a 4-day game, you've got the new cherry in your hand. Are you trying to nick guys off? Are you trying to get LBWs? What's the plan?
Trying to get hit for 6.
To be fair, Nick, I'm a type of guy, and I always try looking. I look for wickets, and I think, and not so much with the Dolphins. I never have a lot of success with the Dolphins as yet, but I've always tried attacking, and that's where sometimes I get it wrong sometimes, because sometimes wickets don't allow us to attack, and that's where the problem is. But I've learned quite a bit so far. That I've played franchise cricket. You have to be patient, and but whenever I'm at my top of my mark, I'm always looking to get wickets, because I'm not there to. There is certain guys in our team that's there to keep the economy at 2 point at under 2s or 2.5. I'm purely there for getting wickets. So I always try to get wickets.
Shez is having a laugh there. Shez, are you the guy who's going to keep the run rate down to 2.5?
Because we know I was slower, so they're like, this guy can't get wickets, man. Like, Rob must hold a bit, but Rob is good, so he can do both. Bevlon, they must just come flying in and do whatever they can, man. It is fun though. It was fun. I did with Cohen. I did a lot on and off the field.
I remember I made my debut with Shezi and Robbie. I remember me and Shezi opened the bowling. I opened the bowling with Shezi, my debut game, and there was a slight breeze. So he came up to me. So he came up to me. He said, "Look, I'm gonna let you come with the win. Please don't disappoint me." Those are the first words that Shezi said to me on my debut for the Dolphins. And he allowed me to bowl with the win.
That's very kind of you, Shez, getting towards the back end of your career, running into a breeze.
No, youngsters are getting soft, man. You have to make sure they're happy, And he's tall. This guy against the wind and he's so tall. He's going to fall over,
Oh, no. So, Kerwin, how did that go for you? What were the figures? Can you remember?
My debut game was so tough, Nick. We played in Pietermaritzburg. I'm sure Shezi will remember it. Dean Elgar and Aiden Markram opened the batting, and they were scoring so much of runs for the Proteas, and Dean Elgar scored a double 100, and I think Aiden Markram scored an 80 in before the first drinks or something. It was so bad.
Well, at least it's an innings you'll never forget. So that's the most important thing, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Carry on, Shez. Sorry, I missed you there.
No, I'm saying that game made me really think about retiring. I think at lunch I think on 18, and he's got 200.
Oh no.
Now, at lunch, I think I called Kai, I can't remember, or Tappers, I think I said, guys, and Morgan, I think we need to start using youngsters more. I think
just tell me about that Maritzburg track. I know that it can be a run fest and it can be a game that sort of peters out into a high scoring draw. As bowlers, how tough is it bowling on that Maritzburg wicket?
It's the best wicket with spinning. Because you bowl.
I've actually played all my games in Pietermaritzburg. Well, not like all my debut games I've played in Pietermaritzburg, and I obviously played for KZN Inland. To be fair, when I play for Inland, the Pietermaritzburg wicket is nice to bowl on. I don't know why, whether it's the regulation ball or what. But when I played for Dolphins, every single game, I played against Kemba Bavuma, he scored a double 100 there as well. Yeah. So Pietermaritzburg, there's no good story come out from Pietermaritzburg. It's so tough to bowl on.
It is tough. I always say, out of all wickets, God forgot about that strip. It's one strip. He faced Judas, and that's one guy also was like, that wicket, I don't know it also, because it is tough. Maybe if it's cold and it's on day one, you might be lucky. But if it's hot and the mountains in Hilton are whistling,
Kerwin, this is what I was going to come on to next. At your stint with the Paul Rocks in the MSL, who did you learn from the most? Which player did you learn from the most?
I've been there for 2 years now, and to be fair, I've spoken a lot with Faf, and he's the guy that actually really helped me from, like, he bats and I'll be bowling to him, and then we'll have conversation in between balls, and I think I've learned the most from him. And Hardus Valyuan as well. He's taught me a lot, and Udana obviously has been there, but I think the most that I've learned is from Faf himself. Like, I don't speak a lot to players, Shezi would know, but like when I'm bowling, when I'm bowling too fast and he's batting, and he'd always come up to me and ask me what I'm trying to do, and he'll tell me what he's trying to do, and he'll tell me, oh, if I'm trying to do something, he'll tell me, okay, he's gonna try to counter it, and then we come up with plans where we can obviously be better in for when I'm in a game situation. So that's what helps. So if I'm trying to bowl to a wide plan and I got wide fielders there, he's obviously gonna try and hit me on the leg side just to counter what I'm doing, and then we come up with solutions from there. So I've always learned from him being the captain, knowing what I'm gonna do at when I'm bowling at the back end of an innings, and also when I'm bowling up front as well. So I've learned a lot from Faf.
Okay, now I'm going to put you on the spot. You've told me a story a while back about you and Faf du Plessis at a training session just before the final, if I'm not mistaken, this last final. Just give us the viewers the story.
Okay. So at PAL for 2 seasons I didn't bat once. I don't carry my cricket kit to games. I carry my cricket spikes and I go to games. So we had net
and training sessions. You don't bat in training sessions either.
Yeah, I don't bat at PAL at all. So I don't have my kit. It's in PAL, but it's not at the ground. So I go to net session and the ball gets hit on the top of the net. So Faf gives me his bat and he asked me to hit it down for him because obviously I'm tall, so I can reach it. So I hit it down, and then he tells me, "Hey, Mangas, that's the first time you've hit a ball this month."
Oh, jeez. Okay. I love that story. That's one of my favorites, no doubt. Shez, just talking about the MSL and sort of franchise T20 cricket, do you feel like it was something that sort of took flight a lot, well, locally, sort of back into your career, you missed out on it?
Yeah, I did. To be fair, I always felt like when it did come out, the Mzansi Super League, and it came out when it was in the back of my career. But in saying that, it's for South Africa, it's probably the best 2020 tournaments that we can have, where we can get internationals coming in. I can just imagine bowling to Chris Gale. I did once, but imagine bowling to Chris Gale and there's Jason Roy, bowling to internationals and you're mingling with Daniel Christian in the team. I think probably that is the best I've seen our 2020 cricket, even if I can say cricket have grown in such a way. And I can just think of Mangas. I remember him starting his career, and I was watching him, if it's last season or in somewhere, and I was impressed with his dead bowling. I couldn't believe such a tall guy. It's so hard to get a Yorker in, and how consistently he did it. And I'm just thinking it's all because of these 2020, I'll call it tournaments, where Mangas is dealing with Faf. Where would you see Mangas dealing with Faf? They're just not doing. They're not going to mix. Someone is in Cape Town, one guy's in Newcastle. So just them mixing and just to see how the skills of people have grown. I think it's probably one of the best ways we can see new talent, and probably we can try win the World Cup, if I'm being fair.
Yeah. Mangas, you sort of made a name for yourself in the Africa Cup. I think we could go back to the one where Inland won, and you were on TV, and that was probably your first taste of that sort of arena, where people are watching you. How important was that for you, not necessarily just being on TV, but sort of being noticed?
I think it was really, really good for me. I mean, I haven't played cricket before that. I never played semi-pro. I think I played one game for KZN in Inland before that. Then the 2017 Africa Cup was my first few games for Inland, KZN Inland. That's where I made my mark. And I remember in that same season, before I played for Inland again, I played for Dolphins before that. And the Africa Cup itself, just Africa Cup is smaller than MSL, and it made such a big impact in my career. So saying that as well in terms of the MSL being bigger, playing with international players, bigger things happen for you. And for me, it was just great. It made such a big impact into my career. I'm one of a proven fact of someone making a name from from tournaments, and that's amazing.
Yeah, Shez, you've played on, talking about stages. You've played on the bigger stage. You've played for South Africa, and you played ODI against Zim. Just talk me through that experience of playing for South Africa, making your ODI debut. I know it was in Zim, but how was that for an experience?
It as a cricketer, I think that's the best. It can't get better. Is what you want, what you dreamed of. Everything is just in one. And I remember when I got to Zim and my kit was in a box and it was written Mthokizisi Shezi. First of all, I'm seeing other guys, they're used to it, oh, this is my box. I looked at my box for a while, just admiring that. And I put it on in my room, and I remember praying and crying, and I was like, wow, like this is you wearing Proteas, this is your dream. And although you want to play 100 games, but and they think it's harder to play 100 games, but to get the first one, I think it's very special. And I remember the day before we played, there's a small, I don't call it initiation, but it's like a welcoming or birth. I don't know what I can call it, where there's a protein in the room, the lights are dimmed, and they speak to you. That for me was, I'm actually getting goosebumps. It was probably best experience I've had before the game. And I remember the first net session. I get there, and I think I was going to bowl to JP, and I knew JP, so I was a bit chilled. But as I get the ball, I think in my net it was Kyle, it was Mashant and myself. So for some reason I had to bowl the first ball. And I remember everyone else stopped to pull the ball at practice. That has never happened before. So so they're all looking at me. I'm looking at AB. Hash is laughing at me. I'm looking at the coach, I'm nervous. And everyone's waiting. I'm like, Shez, just don't pull it down leg, my boy. Just hit it. And I bowled it, JP left it, and everyone carried on. I had more nerves for that ball than my first ball. Literally. Like, yo, this guy's, I've never played with AB before that. And he's a legend. So when he's watching you, you're like, And I remember I took AB on. We had practice. And I said, and there was an open field. I said, AB, I'm going to bowl some depth to you. I'll bowl 20 balls. Let's see how many sixes you can hit, And he's like, okay, cool. He bats, then he forgets, and I remind him. And then he's like, okay, cool, let's go. He's like, I'm not going to lap and stuff, but let's go. I tell him on my field, boys, oh boys, oh boys, was I in for a ride, I bowled to a few guys at death. I think Rob is one of the hardest to bowl at death if you're sleeping. I think AB is probably the best. Your best Yorker is a run. Sometimes six. Your best. It hit the white line and something leans back. And so for me also that was amazing because I bowled really well to him, but he also hit some shots that I thought were impossible to hit. And it's practice, So it was really good. It was very good. And I remember I made a debut with Riley. We were good teammates for a while because in Australia for SA we were together, and there were some guys I knew also. So it was something memorable. I really did enjoy my debut. I won't lie.
You played the one game, but you played hundreds of first class games and list A games and T20 games. Getting towards the back end of your career, I know that you put a lot of focus on studying and qualifying in order to take up a position when you finished your career. When did you sort of decide that was going to be a priority for you?
Oof. I actually decided a while back, to be fair. I come from Mbali. I think Mangas knows that place. And I wasn't privileged of having nice things. So I thought, since I have something nice, which was cricket, for me, I never dreamed of playing for Dolphins. Until grade 11, I did not even know the Dolphins. To be honest with you, I did not know a team existed called the Dolphins. So when it was a dream happening that I didn't dream of in the first place, I thought it's so good. I don't want to make it end, because if it does end, I've got nothing to fall on. And I had friends who played soccer, and some of them were international people, like old John Mabizela. He was my friend and he was my neighbor, and Vumi. And when their career finished, they did nothing. They went back to where I came from. So I thought, I cannot go back. No matter what, I'm gonna have to try and make this work. And I've got a passion for coaching, but I was nervous to become a coach because there's so many coaches. Only 6 can be franchise coaches. Another 8 can be B team coaches. So I thought, okay, I'll study. I think I did sports psychology first to cover the sport part. And I thought, okay, now let's cover the outside life part. And then I did a BCom HR. That was my undergrad. And I thought, you know what? I love people. I enjoy talking to people. Let me learn about people. And then I did my postgrad in business management. And I think that kind of shaped when I studied at Standard Bank and moving to RCL. And for some reason, for a year, I studied when you work in ships, MSc.
Okay.
Wasted of a year. Because I hate water. I'm never going to be in water. You're not going to find me 6 months in the ocean, But for some reason, I did it. I don't know why. But for me, it was more of having a second option. Like now, I want to come back to coaching. But I'm like, at least I've got something that I can fall on, which is strong. Because I'm studying my level 3 coaching because I've got a passion for coaching. There's a skill that I think I could help youngsters probably grow to be a Mungroo one day, and play with Faf and learn from Faf and learn from someone. But for me, it was just making sure that from early on that you've been blessed to have a good life. Make sure it doesn't end.
Oh, those are incredibly powerful words, and I think that's something that a lot of players need to hear and learn from. Kerwin, I'm going to come to you just to finish off here. Hopefully, another massive season for the Dolphins ahead of you. Have you set out any sort of goals? Playing franchise cricket, I guess, would be as much franchise cricket as possible. Would be the ultimate goal, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. My goal every season is obviously to get better and obviously have an impact in the Dolphin season. And for me, it will be to play all formats again and really do well and then take it from there. Just trust the process, and hopefully if I do well, things will happen personally for me. But for me, my main focus is to do well for the Dolphins. And yeah, that's my goal, just to do well for the Dolphins. And if I do well for the Dolphins, I know bigger things will come my way. So it's
absolutely,
simple. Mine is simple.
Kerwin, all the best for the season. Hopefully it gets underway sooner rather than later. Shez, all the best. New father. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of hard work on your hands from that perspective. Guys, thank you so much for joining me this week. It's been an absolute pleasure having you, and I'm sure that all of you has really enjoyed it, and the insight was fantastic. Thanks so much, guys, and stay safe and take it easy.
Sure. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Cheers.
Cheers, bye.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. That was a fantastic episode. Really enjoyed the insight from both of them. And take it easy, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much. Good night. The show is about the fans, for the fans.
As a youngster and as you get older, if you have the base and the fundamental.
How's it guys? Down to Tatham here. I'm just finished up training now with
the upper back probably at the age of 3, and we're passing a rugby ball. About 12 seasons of Premier Club cricket.
It's been a fantastic season so far for us as the Dolphins. A really good season so far. We've got good momentum in this one-day competition.
Really performing well, bowlers, batters and fielders.
Doing the camp is really good. Guys are really focused.